Very good afternoon. My distinguished co-panelist, Sri Suresh ji, Professor Kailash Sharma ji, the Chairman Board of Governors, Professor Sushma ji, Professor Kadam, all the distinguished Vice Chancellors and distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I take pride to be a part of this important conference organized by CMDR in collaboration with CES Bangalore. And the topic, Bharat at 2035. So this is extremely important topic, and this topic backdrop is NEP 2020. Now Bharat at 2035, since yesterday I was listening, so this 2035 is nothing to do with Macaulay's 1835. So this 2035 is basically 2020, NEP 2020. It was announced 29 July 2020 by our Honorable Prime Minister. And NEP document, it is mentioned that in 15-year time, a first standard students will graduate as a part of NEP 2020. So that was the purpose of mentioning 2035 NEP implementation will be 100%. So that is how I think Bharat 2035 has come. So that is one clarity. And now today we are 2023, just beginning of 2023, we are almost about close to 13 years. And in 13 years, 2035, how we can visualize implementation of NEP 2020 in all aspects. So since yesterday, I think we all are listening the right from inaugural session to plenary session and focus point 1 and focal point 2 plus plenary session 2. If you see all the topics are extremely relevant and important as a part of NEP implementation. All of you know that success of NEP 2020 not because of the report, the success only we can contribute the way we execute. The degree of success always depend upon the execution. So that is where execution is extremely important, and now we are seeing NEP 2020 in 2035, how it will take a shape in coming 12 to 13 years. Now, we have discussed various topics, right from, previous session before lunch was IKS. And our NEP 2020 founded on IKS, Indian Knowledge System. And that is the basis, that is the foundation. If foundation is weak, the structure, I'm a civil engineer, by qualification and by practicing, I am a manager. I'm heading the Management Institute. But as a civil engineer, I must say that if the foundation is not weak, or foundation is not strong, then the structure will not remain for long. And that is how this IKS being a foundation of NEP 2020, and today it has been not only in India, but entire world recognized as a gold standard. NEP 2020 has lot of appreciation received not only from India, but it is also from abroad. Everybody is looking how India is going to transform the education from primary, secondary to higher education to the higher level. So in that context, the topic given to us, skill development, entrepreneurship, and employability. Now these are the three topics, but the first two will basically result into the last one, that is employability. Now skill development, before talking to skill development, if you look at the history, many times engineers and doctors and scientists, we neglect history, but history reveals very, very important things, and also history set the direction for future. And that is where you should always recall the history. If you look at the Edison, when he invented bulb, or in the inaugural session, I think C.V. Raman, it was talked, and also Rabindranath Tagore, Professor Desai talked about them. So if you take many such examples, these people never having a proper laboratory, C.V. Raman or even Edison. Edison, while working in a company, while traveling in a train, he used to do the experiment, and one day he put a fire to the train. Accidentally, fire took place. So then finally he became a great scientist after trying many trials. But he was not having a proper laboratory, proper environment, but he succeeded as a great scientist. He developed the skill as a scientist. Similarly, C.V. Raman. And probably you have n number of such examples if you go back to the history. Now question comes that there were no skill universities, there were no even proper universities, but still people reach the heights and set an example. That is one aspect when it comes to scientists and all. If you look at the Shantanu Kirloskar, he never gone to school. Dhirubhai Ambani never gone to school. And there are many such a number of examples, again in the industrial world. They developed the skill, leadership skill, and they became entrepreneur, and they set an example to the rest of the world. Similarly, look at Azim Premji in Bangalore. He was selling the oil and healthcare product in Nasik, and after liberalization 1990, he thought there is a great opportunity, I should be right time, right place, and he came. And now his company Wipro became a role model. So it is not only skill. In development of skill, which area you have to develop the skill? You have to ask the question. Any skill doesn't yield you the required result or what you want to become. So that is where it is extremely important what time, what one should do. Now, again, people say that, oh, that fellow is not having that background. So if you look at the Kirit Parikh, who was throat civil engineer, but he was heading the IGIDR Mumbai, Economic and Energy Institute. He became planning commission member. He was energy expert, but he never gone to energy school. So that is where it is extremely important, the people mindset and passion, a growth mindset. You know, today, of course in NEP and also otherwise, we say that rigidity is stupidity. And that is where it is extremely important. If you are passionate and that field is growing, and capturing the skills in that area is extremely important. That is one aspect. But if you look at the today's world, we call it as a fluid world. Earlier people used to call it as a hookah world. Now the more appropriate word today is a fluid world. Because if you go once again to the river and if you want to touch the same water, you can't touch the same water. Because when you go once again, you have to touch some other water, but not the earlier one. So that is the speed disruptions are happening. In this technological disruption, a speed of disruption taken over everything. And somebody has rightly said before 2002, whatever the data, if you put all the data since civilization to 2002 and after 2002, 2 days data, that 2 days data is much, much bigger than the data till civilization, from civilization to 2002. That is the quantum of data we generated and the speed of disruption happening, a speed of analysis, whether you call about cloud computing, cloud about AI, artificial intelligence, 3D printing. Today, you can build a 2-bedroom kitchen in 8 hours with 3D printing. You can build a car instead of 14,000 components to make one car. 200 components are good enough to print a car. So the world is changing faster than fast, and that is where, when you look at the skill development and the employability, what you teach in the colleges, in the higher education institution, whether it is relevant, whether you equip a student, what industry demands. That was the question we used to ask last 15, 20, 25 years. But today, if you ask industry people what you want, they don't know what I need tomorrow. Because earlier it was much predictable. Even people used to go to, I want to be electronics engineer because I have to join BEL Bangalore. I want to be a mechanical engineer because I want to join Maruti Suzuki. Those days are gone. You have to prepare a students as a change masters to lead the unknown roles in unborn companies. 4-year degree, as per the NEP, many things would have changed the moment students join the first year, and at the end of the 4th-year degree, probably what he was aiming in the first year, that would not be available for him. Already automation might have taken over. According to Deloitte, out of 1,200 behaviors of the human being, 65 behaviors have been already incorporated into robots. The robots are sitting on the big corporate boards to provide unbiased data. If anybody, HR person sits, he can bias the data, he can hide the data of his friend if it is unwanted. But now, smart robots are sitting on the board. So this is a kind of world, and this world is not as it is today. Tomorrow it is going to be different. That is where, if you look at the World Economic Forum, every 5 years they come out with the top 10 skills. If you look at the 2015 skills, if you look at the 2020 skills, and already if you look at the 2025 skills, even though some of the skills are common, but their priority has been changed. Critical thinking, active learning, and some of these kind of skills, they always change the order. So that is where it is extremely important how to remain relevant to the current world. Corporate world will not tell the higher education institution what skills they want because they don't know. And that is where, because skill has a self-life. Earlier days, once you study, then 30, 40 years you used to work in the industry using that skill. But today, a skill has a self-life, and that life is very, very short in today. For example, EV vehicles are coming, driverless cars are coming. A driver skill is no more applicable once a driverless car come into picture. 3D printing come into picture. Many vendors in the car manufacturing, they will disappear. They have to fight. They have to be entrepreneur in some other area. So this is the way world is changing. And that is how the curriculum will also keep on changing every year or 2-year major, revision one has to do. And that is where the important skill you have to develop in future generation is, you cannot say, I will develop this skill, that skill, that skill. That is not going to be relevant, because that skill is going to change the moment the person graduates. And that is where it is extremely important how to build the skill, or how to prepare the students as change masters to face unknown situation in unknown roles in unborn companies. And for that purpose, only one important thing, one important skill you can call to develop in students is a quick learning and quick switching from one skill to other skill. That is extremely important. The moment something changed, suppose I am doing manually, now something else comes, automation comes, quickly I have to learn the new technology and get expertise in that skill, and then I should move on. So that is where quick learning, and that is how somebody has said learning, unlearning, and new learning. Unlearning is not taught in any schools. One has to get into that. Unlearning is a difficult kind of skill. Learning is very easy, unlearning is very difficult. And if you don't unlearn, a new learning will get affected. So that is where both should happen simultaneously. That is where skilling, upskilling, and reskilling are going to play important role, and that is how today we call about lifelong learning. Probably my previous generation, lifelong learning was not practicable, but in future generation, lifelong learning is the only way. And somebody has rightly said that 21st century illiterate are those who not those who can't read and write, but those who can't acquire a new generation skills. And not only new generation skill once, but continuously they keep on acquiring new generation skills which are going to be relevant to the current world or present world. So that is where it is extremely important, perpetual learning. perpetual learners are going to lead the world. And probably those who read a lot, you may draw the conclusion that great leaders are great readers. Not other way true, There are many people read, but all readers cannot be a leaders. But all leaders are the readers. The reverse may not be true. So that is where it is extremely important. You have to acquire the new knowledge. You have to go deep into the new knowledge, and you have to develop your mind as a philosophical mindset or growth mindset. Probably earlier days, my generation people used to go to the college to gain the knowledge. But now, probably, we are teaching the students, they go not only for the knowledge, they go for knowledge and skill. But in future, as per the NEP and otherwise also industry requirement, in future, not only the knowledge and the competency alone is good enough, you have to get into the third dimension, that is capability. Knowledge, competency, skill, and the third dimension one has to get into is, that is called as a capability. Capability is nothing but a growth mindset. Those who have growth mindset, they are going to succeed. Those who have fixed mindset, oh, I am a mechanical engineer, I can't do this, then he will be thrown out of the market. Those days are not available in future. So you have to flexible enough, you have to capture the new skills. It is relevant to your degree or not. And probably what I want to say is, you see, for example, I never did MBA, management school. Probably the Harvard University, I would not have been appointed, because MBA degree is required postgraduate. So now in future, this kind of rigidities are going to disappear in NEP 2020. NEP 2020, along with the knowledge and skill, you are also seeing whether you have a capability. Capability means growth mindset. Growth mindset means you are able to handle the difficult problems, unknown situations very successfully. If you look at just one example, if you look at a year and a half back, tsunami happened in Orissa. The Orissa Chief Minister Naveen Patnaik ji within 2 days restored the entire Orissa in spite of big tsunami. But when Katrina happened few years back in America, they took 2 years to restore the normalcy. Because Americans believe in concept and models, and that is how our all education is all about. But Indians, historically, since civilization, we believe in context. Given the context, we can do the wonders. And that is where there is a firefighting, where there is a earthquake, where there is a tsunami, nobody can match Indian. One Indian is equal, people say, 3 Japanese. One Indian is equal to 3 Japanese. Japanese are known for working hard and also working for long hours, like 13 hours a day. But when 2 such Indians come together, our performance is half of the Japanese. Because we don't work in team. We don't create a synergy. And that is one of the important, how to work in a team. That skill is extremely important, and it is going to be relevant in future. Creating synergy, that is going to be extremely important. So collaboration is the only way in future. Collaboration and cooperation, these are the mantras. Probably in agriculture, economy, or society 2.0, the cooperation was highest priority, and competition word was not at all there. And in future, competition is going to disappear, and that is going to be replaced by cooperation, and NEP speaks about that. NEP highlight, all of you know, it talks about global citizenship. Madam talked in IKS, how entire globe we consider as a one family. Similarly, NEP talks about the holistic human being, how to build a holistic human being, building a character and holistic human being, who can not only going to be a great human being, but he or she will also take care of all living beings. Today we have forgotten other living beings, we are only competing ourselves. And that is where NEP talks about very broadly a human being taking care of all living beings. And also NEP talks about a person, a candidate passing through this NEP 2020, that person has the ability to create a wealth. Ability to create a wealth, it may come from the working with some other company or starting your own company. So that is all about ability to create a wealth, and that we call it as a employability. A person is employable, whether he can employ himself in his own company or he can join somebody's company. So that is where NEP is a gold standard. And if you look at in coming 35 years, 12 to 13 years, already Ministry of Higher Education and many states, they appointed a committee, and Karnataka also has taken a lead for implementation of NEP. And anything you implement first time or you are starting implementation, there are always corrections, recorrections, and standardization takes its own time. But once you standardize, then you reach a level what we call as the highest potential you can achieve at the part of implementation, and there you can expect the good result. The moment you implement this year, I am not getting the result what it is mentioned in AP, that doesn't happen. It will take its own time. Rome is not built overnight. So it means it will take its own time, and that is where for development of the skill, the important one is pedagogy, basically multidisciplinary education we talk about. Multidisciplinary means one is a students have to study different courses. That is one part. Apart from that, multidisciplinary in teaching itself, a pedagogy has to be multidisciplinary. Many times multidisciplinary we take a meaning of only studying the different subject. For example, as a teacher, I am teaching on fuel efficiency. I am teaching a topic to the students. Then one perspective may be a fuel efficiency can be fuel cost, let us say cost reduction in fuel. One can be achieving the efficiency, I can reduce the cost, one perspective. Second perspective is by redesigning the engine itself, I can reduce the cost. If the cost reduction is the topic, then there are two perspectives. So like that, while teaching itself, we have to provide the multiple perspectives, and it has been tested in some of the universities. Those who get the multiple perspective, holistic perspective, 360-degree perspective, they are more employable over those who do only specialized course, pure engineering, pure medical, pure law. Probably they will miss the train, and they are not going to be a holistic and multidisciplinary part, and their employability may be question mark. Because unless until you see the 360-degree, you cannot be a great decision maker. And that is where multidisciplinary, and not only for the courses, studying n number of courses, but it is also about what kind of pedagogy, how we teach them. And as a part of pedagogy, we should also introduce, if you look at the national curriculum framework, there are three components have been mentioned. One is the theory, it is called academics. Second one is a skill. And third one is experiential learning or phenomena-based learning. And Finland is one of the first country in the world to talk about PBL, phenomena-based learning. So phenomena-based learning means a group of students working on a project, or group of teachers teaching one particular course. For example, merger and acquisition course. Now, merger and acquisition course, if I want to teach, I alone cannot teach. There is a HR aspect, a person from psychology will teach, two cultures how to bring together, integrate. And there is a course on IT professor, he will teach. One is having Oracle as a ERP, another one is having a SAP as a ERP, how to integrate. And legal aspect, two country laws, how to bring together. Strategy of the two companies, how to integrate. So it means 5-6 professors teach that course. Students will get all the 7-8 perspective while learning the course. If I am an operations man, if I am teaching, probably it will not serve the purpose. So team teaching is also part of the multidisciplinary, and that is extremely important. And if you prepare such kind of students, I think that kind of skill will create what we call it as a third, employability. And I will not take much time, I will come to the next, entrepreneurship. Government of India has come out with lot of schemes for developing Indian youth as entrepreneurs over the job seekers. And there are already schemes, some of the schools, Atal Incubator, Startup India Seed Fund, lot of facilities, Government of India under the current Prime Minister's able dynamic leadership, many schemes have come. For example, I tell you, in my institute, IIM Nagpur, we have INFED, IIM Nagpur Foundation for Entrepreneurship Development. My institute is just 7-year-old. But it has taken over the 14 IIM which are established since 2007. We are leading. And because of our age, we were not getting Atal incubation. Just 2 weeks back, we received Atal incubator, that is a 10 crore fund from Government of India. We also received DST, a Startup India fund. And since last 4-5 years, we are basically developing women entrepreneurs. We have trained 42 with mentorship on continual basis. 6 of them have moved from startup to scale up. And if you look at the figures at all India level, Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, already more than 75,000 startups have already come, and unicorns, all of you, they are in numbers, hundreds of numbers. So lot of schools, a lot of, the facilities and every institution level and DST level and ministry level. So for developing entrepreneurship, lot of support, mentoring from Government of India level it happens. And we also conduct lot of boot camps to motivate the students, inspire the students to get into the entrepreneurship. So this is how this entrepreneurship basically, even during the colleges, we have to, along with the requisite skills of those professional or whatever the graduate outcome-based education, we also inculcate 2-3 skills. Everybody has to manage one or other things, managerial skills, entrepreneurial skill. These 2 skills, all the students, irrespective of they are from arts, commerce, or any other stream, they should also get into these skills so that they will become a better employed and also they can be a better decision makers. A person who succeeds in the corporate world is measured by the decision making. Out of 10, somebody makes 8 decisions right, and that person is called as a great leader. And out of 10, 8 decisions are wrong, and you know that what we call that person. This person is a failed man, they are into losses. So that is where to be a better decision maker, for example, IIM Nagpur, what we do is our MBA students, we take them 2 days, we introduce a program called Bharat Darshan. So the students, at least 2 days, they go to rural India, far away from Nagpur city, and along with the NGOs, and they will be shown how people walk on the in their field without chappals and barefoot. And also we take the NGOs. One NGO has introduced, a paneer making machine in the field, and 10-15 farmers, those who have buffaloes, instead of selling the milk, now they put all the milk into paneer making machine, and instead of agri product, now they make agri business. And that is where their, the value of the product will go, value added product they sell, and they can raise the bar. So this is how we take the students to such places, showcase, and then these are all the students from IIT, NIT, and our good engineering colleges and arts commerce colleges. Now they are the cream of the society of the country. We say that now you have seen this, how to raise their bar for 5 times and 10 times you have to give the strategy. After coming back, they work on that within a month, they have to submit the report and they will give. So this is a kind of course we introduce. Apart from that, we also introduce a course called, these are all the part of employability, and we also introduce the course called Life Management Skill. Govardhan Eco Village, it is 90 kilometers from Mumbai, Palghar district, Wada Taluka. So Govardhan Eco Village, Saint, Gaurangadas Prabhu, who was 1989 to 93 batch metallurgy student of IIT Bombay. He's a batchmate of Sundar Pichai, all of you know. Both were metallurgy, one from Kharagpur and one from Bombay. So he goes and teaches the course in British Columbia and many UCLA, different places in America. So I requested him, why can't you teach? And we started as a part of NEP, how to fix the life goal and align the career goal to the life. Otherwise, we only think about kids, only materialistic goal, how to make more money in shortest time. And that is not going to give holistic education. And that is where we introduce the life management skill, how to decide the life goal and align the career goal to the life goal. That kind of courses we have introduced. Apart from sustainability, CSR, Indian ethos, Indian economy, these are some of the courses we have introduced, and those courses help the students to be more employable, and they will be more informed, better informed, and they will get the holistic perspective about the country and about the world. And apart from that, we introduced the International Week and Industry Week. International Week means in a week, December, many Indians, those who work in Europe, Australia, New Zealand, UK, China, they come to India, and wherever in India, we gave a flight ticket, come to Nagpur, and they will teach a 10-hour, 1-credit course to our students. So our students sitting in Nagpur, they will get the global exposure and cross-cultural understanding that will help them again to be, understand the corporate culture and cross-cultural understanding, global picture. We introduced that also. And apart from that, another course, we call it as Industry Week. People, those who worked in the industry, and after many years, they started their own company and they share their experience, and they build up the entrepreneur skill. Such courses also are introduced so that they will be better informed, better decision they can make, and they will get into all the three. Probably they can be a better decision maker, better skill, and better employable. So this is what, if any questions, I'll take up. Thank you very much for patience bearing. Namaskar.
I thank Professor Bhimaraya Metri, sir, for his resourceful keynote speech.